Good morning, everyone. I'll forego the obligatory joke about being the only thing left between you and lunch. Let's get started. So Q2 has a mission to build stronger communities by helping build stronger community financial institutions. And this means banks and credit unions that are below the generally $50 billion in asset mark. Community financial institutions use our digital channel products. And to simplify that, it's online, mobile, and tablet banking. We build those applications for them, we operate the applications for them, and then we deliver innovation on top of the platform that we've created. We have about 400 customers in this space and about 13 million end users. Last year in 2018, we did about 2 billion logins, which is a very large number. There are a number of fintech firms in the space that deliver a lot of great functionality. And if you think about, say, Mint, which is a firm that is from way back all the way through to interesting new firms around things like micro-investing or savings or any of the other capabilities. These firms have a heavy dependency on the layer of online and digital banking that's already in place. They get the bulk of their data for end user accounts from data aggregators, folks like Finicity or Plaid and Quovo. Intuit used to be in this business and then for the most part moved out of it, or Yodlee, MX, and Gzio, other PFM providers and aggregators. End users, I think, have a very limited understanding of how this actually operates. And the reason that poses a challenge is because end users, in order to get the functionality they need, may be giving up privacy that they don't really intend to, and they may be exposing themselves to leakage of data that they don't really have an understanding of. So here's a very simplified view of, in the real world, how this works when you sign up for an account with a fintech. You give up your credential to the fintech, who passes it downstream to the aggregator, where your credential is stored, hopefully in a strongly encrypted and secure way, but it is reversibly encrypted because your credential will be provided to the bank or credit union online or mobile application, essentially to do what used to be called screen scraping and now goes by a variety of interesting, fancy engineering names. So when you do this as an end user, in order to get access to the functionality you want, you've essentially entitled both the aggregator and the fintech via the 3-mile-long EULA that you don't read, but you always click on to get the feature you need, to be your agent in retrieving your data, storing your data, and managing your data without necessarily a concrete understanding. And so because Q2 delivers these digital experiences, we're in a relatively unique spot in the marketplace to try and help banks and credit unions help with this problem. So this is an example of an extension component we're working on. This is a prototype page, although we've got most of it functioning interior to the web digital banking experience. Up at the top is sort of the traditional, here's where you logged in from, with some Google mapping. And then below that is a listing of all of the aggregation logins that happen against end users' accounts. So if you've ever logged into online banking and seen that there was a login on your account at 3 o'clock in the morning and thought, that's odd, I was asleep, it's very likely that you have one of these aggregated services that you're using. The challenge is end users sign up for these services and then stop using the functionality, and they forget maybe that they've left their credentials with the aggregator, and so that represents a point of data leakage for them. And so by giving them the ability to turn this on and off by discovering the inbound inquiries from the aggregators, we give end users back some control and agency over their data and where their data goes. I also have a bit of an intent here to start a conversation between banks and credit unions about end users' personally identifiable information, how they should think about it, and where that information goes. And delivering this feature is the first step. One of the challenges you have, I think, when you deliver software directly to an end user, especially on behalf of an enterprise customer, is if you make it too complicated, i.e. Facebook privacy settings, people tend to either turn everything off or leave everything completely on. So trying to figure out from a usability perspective how we give people the ability to share data with who they want it to be shared with on their terms to get the value that they need is an important part of this equation. Toward this end, creating and starting this conversation between the financial institution and the end user about the financial institution being a secure repository for their data when it's yielded to other enterprises gives us later on the opportunity to take advantage of some of the amazing things I've seen here today around concepts like Opal or data vaulting or handing off algorithms for computation externally. And so I think as someone who's working in the part of the space that is really where the rubber meets the road in terms of delivering actual end user software experiences, being able to teach an end user about how it really works and where their data goes, and then bring that to the space is very valuable. So just to sum up, we really want to give end users greater transparency about where their data is held and how it's held so they can have granular control over aggregation and data movement and restore some of the user agency that I think they've lost as part of the attention and data economy that drives the bulk of the way in which monetization of these capabilities and end user PII data drives a lot of innovation. Thank you.